If you click this video, you're probably more clued in on testosterone than the average person. I'm going to present some nuanced findings on the subject specifically involving testosterone and the effects that semen retention, or as some would call it, sexual transmutation, has on the sex steroid hormone testosterone. The things I'm going to go over will help you become more masculine and give you a better grip on the difference between semen retention and sexual transmutation and how these things interplay with testosterone. It is believed that on the 7th day of no ejaculation that testosterone peaks, and after that 7th day, testosterone returns to baseline. This is true. However, if you continue to hold in your seed after that 7th day, your testosterone will gradually go up over time. This is because your body is smart, and if it recognizes you are not reproducing or ejaculating, it thinks there's a higher threat or a problem in your environment, so it's going to upregulate testosterone. Some of you probably already know this if you've watched other videos on this subject, but I want to present you with some new information on this topic that you may find interesting. In your body's cells, there are things called androgen receptors. When we as men want more testosterone, what most of us really mean is we want more androgen receptor activation or expression. The activation of androgen receptors is responsible for things like masculinization of the face, development and maturity of muscles, specifically the delts, traps, and upper chest. This is why when you see men go on steroids or gear, their delts and traps just fucking blow up. It's also responsible for facial hair growth and hair growth in general, and thickness, and really any masculine feature you could think of. This all ties back to semen retention. If you want higher levels of testosterone and the things associated with higher levels of testosterone, what you really want is more sensitivity in the androgen receptors of your cells. It was previously thought that your androgen receptor sensitivity was genetic and there was nothing you can do to change it. But bouts of semen retention actually cause more androgen receptor sensitivity, meaning that if you practice long-term semen retention, it increases testosterone's ability to express itself in the body and attach to the receptors in the cells. This increased androgen receptor sensitivity from semen retention, combined with a higher testosterone level through the implementation of an animal-based diet high in protein and saturated fats, and a solid exercise routine and martial arts, is, in my opinion, the #1 best way a man can increase his masculinity. Anecdotally, this has worked wonders for me. Semen retention also goes beyond just testosterone and androgen receptors. It also plays a huge role in D2 receptor sensitivity. And for anybody who doesn't know what that is, you can think of it as your body's sensitivity to dopamine and your ability to experience pleasure from the little things in life. Also, your ability to focus for long bouts of time. Dopamine and testosterone have a synergistic relationship, meaning they help each other and both motivate you through the increased drive and masculine vigor that they create in the mind and body. You can't talk about semen retention or sexual transmutation without talking about the attraction and magnetism that you will receive from doing this. When you retain your sexual energy, your seed, women become more attracted to you, and not only women, but all people. And when I say attracted, I don't only mean in a sexual way. People will become more receptive to the things that you say. You will gain more respect from people in general. And the reason for this is somewhat of a mystery to me. And we can go down two different paths when explaining it. On one side, we have the spiritual reason, and on the other, we have the practical or scientific reason. I'm going to briefly explain both. The spiritual reason for this attraction or magnetism would be an increase in your vibrational state and a more powerful aura or energy field that projects outwards. The scientific reason, posture check. The scientific reason has to do with your self-image and the absence of shame or guilt that causes you to carry yourself and act in a more attractive and magnetizing manner. Whether you believe in the woo-woo hippie answer or the scientific reason-based answer, I believe it's a combination of the both, and that they are both explaining the same thing. Most men who hear about semen retention and start to practice it get caught up in only holding on to this energy and not releasing it. This alone is better than masturbation and watching porn and letting go of your seed. But you could be getting more benefit out of your practice. By holding onto your seed and bottling up this energy without creative expression, we dampen our creative power. This is the difference between semen retention and sexual transmutation. Semen retention is the act of bottling up that energy and holding on to it, while sexual transmutation is the act of directing that energy into a creative goal. If the energy that you are holding on to is not directed into a purpose, a mission, or a goal, the energy grows stagnant and can start to cause issues like overtly lusting after women, frustration in life, and obsessive thoughts around sex. This is not what we want. If you've been practicing semen retention with no purpose, you are doing it wrong. You have to have a mission or goal and direct this creative energy into that mission or goal. You were given the power to create as a man, and you need to use that, whether it's through reproduction or creating your own path and reality in effort to better the lives of other humans. For a man looking for his purpose, retaining your seed is the best way to find it. And once it comes to you, it becomes your job to use the creative energy that you have and bring it into fruition. This purpose should be one that betters humanity and the lives of others. That is a worthy purpose. And in order to do that, you have to become a man who can. So if you haven't already started semen retention, I want you to write down the qualities of the man that you would like to become. Write down what he looks like, write down the characteristics that he has, how he dresses, how he carries himself, how he acts, the things that he does on a daily basis, his morals, his values, everything about him. And I want you to read that paper every morning and every night when you wake up and right before you go to bed. While you practice semen retention or sexual transmutation, make your purpose to become that man. Start today. In a world full of don'ters, be a doer.